Well, hello, guys.
Hello, everyone.
This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show with my co host Shannon with Soul 7. And we have a really, I think some of you it's going to blow your mind, and some of you it's going to just confirm some things for you. And a few of you are going to go, how in the world did I find this channel with these crazy people talking about this stuff? But I think for the most part, that's not going to be the case. I think that y'all guys are really going to enjoy it. And we're not going to waste much time, and we're going to get right to it. And um, we're going to be talking about subject matter here that is supernatural. It's about body code. It's about the the temple, the tabernacle, the Ark of the Covenant, Noah's Ark being within you. The image of it is within you. And I've got a better way today. I've got some 3D models that I'm going to be able to show you these things. And just like the Bible says that when uh, when when we come before God, we should come before Him naked and like a child. If you've ever seen a really young child that hasn't been taught yet to be ashamed of their body, um, you will know that they will just run around and they do not realize that they are naked because they have not been taught to be ashamed yet. And so I'm going to show a couple of images, not too much, but at least one that's going to make some of you blush, but it is truth. And there is nothing profane about a creation that God made. It is the mind of the beholder that can make it profane. So, no, we're not going to get graphic or anything like that. And I'm not even actually going to show you anything that is, uh, well, you'll just see. Okay? You'll just see. So, I'm looking at the comments real quick, and then we're going to get right on to the show here because this is really important content. I don't want anybody to go anywhere and not see this content because it is fantastic. And the curiosity that you have there, crafty Nana Tracy, is going to pay off because this is going to be some awesome knowledge that you're going to have. And so let's just get right to it. Now, y'all guys have seen. Let's see here. Let's share our screen, Shannon. Well, let's check with Shannon real quick and see before we just jump right in. Check with Shannon and at least say hi. Hi, Shannon.
Hi. Good to see you guys. I'm not having technical difficulties today. No,
She's
no,
back,
I'm
back
back.
back in her studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in my studio. Oh, it look fancy. Um, so, well, Shannon, let's go ahead if it's okay, and we'll talk about everything we're looking at because I want your opinion on it and everything. So don't let me hog the mic. I get carried away sometimes, but um, let's share our screen here and share what we've got to share here. Let's see. We'll just start with this image because I've shown this image before. Okay, and this is the inside of a human skull. In this area, this is what's called the crista galli. This is a bone that, if you take the bone out of the head, you would see that it looks like, and I've shown it before, it looks like a cross, and this being the top of the cross, the head of the cross. Uh, the bone itself is a separate bone that fits down in here and fits down right into the head here. And then you have right here, you have um, what you might call the box, okay? Or you might call the body of the boat, okay? You see this body of the boat, and you see this, you know how, like on most ships, they will have a mast that sticks up in the front and it has these sails on it. See these sails right here? You got one on this side and you got one on this side, two big cells. So you got two greater cells and two lesser cells, just like the wings on the cherubims that they spoke about in the scripture about the design of the Ark of the Covenant, as well as about the design about the temple and the tabernacle. And I've done quite a few videos, and they're still sitting on my Logical 4 Authority channel, which is now embedded into the Supernatural Show website, right on the homepage, as a matter of fact. And you can go there and check those out, of course, and it's on YouTube and some other places out there. And but you see these cells up here. Imagine this is a boat, and this is a sail on a boat. Okay, and then you see this dividing line right here, right there, that's sealed up, just like the cave that was sealed up above the mercy seat. And where's the mercy seat? The mercy seat's right in here. It's right between these two lesser wings. This is a lesser wing, a smaller sail that is here with the boat here in the middle. Okay? And the whole head represents the ship. And of course, um, yeah, so if you can imagine what I'm showing you there, okay? And what you're looking at is a point of creation. A point of creation is where creation happens. It's where God shows himself. Think of the Ark of the Covenant, where the cherubims were with their wings spread like this. And and God would show himself there in between the wings. These are the wings. These are the sails. Okay. And this right here area of your head is where God shows himself. He exists within you. Okay. This is the Christa Galley. This is a cross with a veil on it. And the veil that's there, you can't see it in this image, but I've shown it many, many times. And we're going to look at it again here because we have a 3D model. So, what is the body called sometimes? It's called a vessel. What is a vessel? It's a boat. How did God create in Genesis? He created on the waters, right? So this is another image of that same thing. Okay? This is just a drawing. Okay? And you see you got the greater wings up here and you got the lesser wing down here. Okay? And then you can see that the boat is right here. That the staff of the boat, the main staff that holds the sails. You may even call it a rod or staff. Okay, it's stand there, kind of like this rod. I'm gonna maybe show off here a little bit more in a few minutes and show you my rod of iron. So this is another image of it. If we zoom in here, you can almost see the boat going through the water. See, God creates an imagery. He repeats his image, the image of God. He repeats it. Not only does he repeat it just in the head, it's repeated all over your body in many ways. Okay? This is like this is like the tree of knowledge in the garden, sticking up in the middle of the garden. All right, let's look at another image of the similar thing. And then we're going to get to the 3D images here in just a minute, which are going to be absolutely fascinating. So we're looking here, and you can see, of course, just like we were looking at, you got the greater wings up here and the lesser wings. But then if you come down here, you have another uh, called the sphenoid. As you see here, you got ethmoid, which is this bone, here, has the cristagalli in it, in the pink area. Okay. And then you have the sphenoid, which is sitting down below it, which is those set of what was labeled in the other image called lesser wings. And then you got I guess you'd say, trying to see what how they're labeling it here. But if you look at this image here, you can see the boat up here with the sails and the main uh, staff or whatever they call it on a ship or a boat. Okay. And if you come straight down below that to where the boat itself is or is at, is this right here. This is the boat itself. This is the ark. This is the mercy seat right here. And you're going to be able to see this well again in another way, but I want you to understand what you're looking at before I take you and show you these 3D models, because it's a little bit more, it's better to see and more difficult if you don't know what you're looking for. Okay. And if you notice too, also you have basically the image of what looks like a butterfly here as well, which we're going to see much more of that. Now this image here, this is the same image as this image here. Oops. That image is actually the same image as well, but this is a new group that I created on the website, the supernatural.show, that it's a group to discuss this topic and related topics. And what I did was I went ahead and created this group, and I put in here links to these 3D systems that I'm going to show you here in just a minute, and any photos and videos and things that I'm doing in relation to this work. I'll be saving them in here for y'all guys, okay? As well as probably in the People's Library as well. So let's go back over and let's look at this. Let's see. You got that image there. Now that is the same image as this that I'm fixing to show you. But the image you're fixing to look at, remember, this is a point of creation. This is where God creates, is where he shows himself, okay? And the same, and this next image is the same exact image. It's just a computer scan of it. The one on the left is the actual bone here with the crystal galley in the forehead. This is the wing out here, another wing here, okay? And on the right is a digital scan of it showing it. Now, it shouldn't take much to understand anybody that has any eyes at all that's not wicked and dirty within your mind to look at this image here, realize that it's the same exact image, it's just a scan. You can see the lesser wings down here, right here. You can see the greater wings, and then even the wings that exist within the crystal galley at the bone itself, which is here. And then you have the crystal galley that sticks up right here. And if you didn't know any better, you would think you were looking at the female reproductive, uh, the vagina, right? And why is that? Why does it look just like it? It's because it is a point of creation. Am I making sense, Shannon?
Yes, very much so. I mean, even in thinking of the skull holding the mind and thoughts being of creation, it all kind of points in that same direction.
Yeah. Because with the vagina on a female body, along, of course, she needs the man, but the vagina, it, along with the uterus, and the placenta, which is in the image of the tree of life that I've shown on this channel before. I can pull it up right now. You know what I'm talking about, right, Shannon?
Right.
Yeah. Well, matter of fact, why don't I just pull one up real quick? It'll be really easy. The human.
Placenta isn't actually been used for a very long time as a medicinal substance. A lot of animals even consume the placenta after birth. I mean, it doesn't sound very appealing, but it has a lot of life-giving attributes aside from even giving life to an, a baby as it's growing.
Right. And here, let me open this photo itself. Here you can see what I'm referring to. In the upper right is a human placenta. Okay, and you can see that the structure of it, the way God made it, it is in the image of the tree of life, the tree in the garden. Okay, and what is the female reproductive system? What is that part of the body? It is an image of the garden where life is created. It's where God shows himself. He creates another copy because we are his children. And of course, the human body itself has a lot of the same imagery with that's tied right to nature, just like your fingerprints or just like the growth rings within a tree. And it's just all tied together. We're all tied together like that. But this is just for me, there was just like most people, there was a time in my life where um, I couldn't have maybe looked at this image and one made any sense of it for sure, or two, not have a vulgar thought in my mind. And I'm very happy to say that I do not have a vulgar thought in my mind when it comes to this anymore. I don't look upon a woman the same way with lust as I surely have in the past. I look at it with absolute amazement and fascination, and I just I just thank God that He's allowed me to understand these things and showed them to me and made them clear so that I can show y'all guys that here we are looking inside the human head at the point of creation inside your head where God shows Himself that it is the exact same image of a female vagina.
Well, and you know, being able to carry and give birth and recreate children, it is such a miracle. It's a miracle of life, and this miracle is showing all throughout your body, throughout nature, throughout the world.
Mm-hmm.
um, it is definitely showing the miracle of God, and in a way is a very supernatural aspect that it's all tying together, and in such a beautiful and mysterious way.
Mm-hmm. And um, I've got this bottle here we're going to take a look at. That was something that I was thinking I was going to say. It's slipping my mind right at the moment. It'll probably come back to me here in a minute. But yeah, okay, it'll come back to me here in a minute. So this is a 3D model, as you can see. We can we can turn it around, move it around, look at it in any way we want. We can zoom in and we can remove different parts of it if we want to, so that we can see inside the head if we want to. And so we're going to do that. I'm going to show you. We're going to go in and look at some of the areas that we're discussing here inside this 3D model. So let's go. Let's turn the head around and let's look from the back. And let's go in. Shannon, I'm gonna go full screen for just a minute, okay? So they can see this full screen, and then I'll bring us back up, okay? Okay, let's see. Let me close that little thing down. Now, here we are looking in from the back side of the head. Okay. Now, what we were just looking at just a few minutes ago, whoops, or just a few moments ago, I have to be careful how you, this thing's really sensitive. This is the crystal galley. That is the the staff or the rod that's sticking straight up right there. Okay, that is the called the ethylene bone or something. I think that's a fairly close pronunciation. And this bone structure here is actually a separate bone structure. I'll show you what I mean here. Let me go down where I can actually turn it off if I can find it here. Here we go. You see, it disappeared. It is actually a separate, independent bone. It's a unique type of bone. It is very porous and spongy, kind of like cloth. And when, sadly, when everyone was, not everyone, fortunately, but when a lot of people were going out and they were getting the tests, the things stuck up their sinuses, and they were going all the way up here real high and rubbing it. What they were doing, they were rubbing it right on that. They were rubbing it on the other side of it in the top of your sinuses. The same place where Egyptians would go in and knock a hole through it so that they could enslave the human because it would destroy the crystal galley and the human would then come in, turn into a mindless, controllable beast that did not have uh, a connection with God anymore, the silver cord that connects us to heaven, and they would knock a hole through the crystal galley, what you're looking at right there.
Unfortunately, too, that was a practice that has still been carried out throughout, much of time, including in, the what I consider tortured places for people who are mentally unfit in society, called the frontal lobotomy.
Yep, that would be it. They come here and they knock that out, destroy that crystal galley, which destroys your connection with God. It separates you and turns you more into like a beast. And then, like all beasts, they can be completely broken and controlled, turned into complete slaves. So, what were they doing jamming something up there against it? What were they trying to do to you? Were they trying to separate you from God?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
Sure. Yeah,
that is a
that is exactly what they were doing. And this 3D model is insane. I don't think I can quite tip it. I can go around on the other side and look back from the other side at this, which we might do here in a minute. Let's put that back in place. Let's back out here. Now we were looking at a while ago. We were looking at this whole area right here in this image right here. You remember? We were looking at that. You can see the porous looking bone right here, like a fabric, like a veil that's hanging there, and you can see that those same things right down in here on both sides. Same thing. This is where the spark of life takes place within your head. It's your connection. Um, it is the cross of Christ within you. They named it appropriately, assuming they knew, but they named it the Christa Galley. The Christa, of course, is related to Christ, and the galley is a place on a boat where something hangs out. And what's hanging out there? Christ. That's why it's called the Christa Galley. And they know that. So if I come back out here and if I turn off the sphenoid bone, which is right there, which looks like a butterfly and wings, you also notice that this part right here is the boat itself. Of course, the whole thing, the whole head is the vessel, but you can see the ark or the Ark of the Covenant with the law in it. This is the imagery of it within you right here. You can even see on the bottom here, it has this bone coming down like a rudder, on a ship. So what you're doing is what you're looking at here. You're looking at the back of the Noah's Ark. You're looking at the back of the Ark of the Covenant within you. And if you know much about ship design and have looked at any of the modern boats and ships and vessels out there, you'll recognize some of these, the way this design is with these, uh, well, in this case, this bony structure running down. I'm not sure what that one is called. Is that part of the sphenoid? The wings out here are. Actually removes all of it, don't it? Yeah, that's the sphenoid. Okay. Yep. So the sphenoid is the boat itself. And a lot of the vessels these days will have these type of fins or wings. Fin, wing, same thing. Bird, fish. It's just a matter of the thickness of the water. You know. So yeah, we are looking from the back of the vessel. Let's see if I have another option over here to open up the front of the vessel. Let's see. Okay. Still leaves the crystal galley, but it removes, oops, go back. So where am I at? Get lost. Let me back up for a second. Okay. So it's called a mast. That's what they call it on a ship. A lot of times, the main mast or whatever, which in this case would be the crystal galley, sticking up here. But now you can see. As a matter of fact, we should be able to now go around and look inside of the front of the head and see it from the opposite side. And if I turn off the ethmoid bone, which contains the crystal galley, you can see it disappearing there. Let me back off a little bit so you can see more of it. And the sphenoid, which looks like the butterfly, which is another image of a point of creation that sits right behind the ark within you. So let's spin back around here. Let's tip it down this way. And so the sphenoid is obviously connected directly to the steps that lead up to the bow, that lead up to the captain's quarters in the ship. The steps, the vertebrae within your neck and down your spine. Within these codes, these body codes, looking within, I believe that we will find the answers to many questions. Even the other subject we were talking about the other day, the hairy people that live in the woods.
Right.
I want to try to see if I can't find. I don't know that it even exists. A model that someone has tried to do of their skull like this, because they have I think it's called a sagittal crest. and their head comes up more to a point, conical head, like a bee's nest,
Mm.
and they have a crest like a gorilla has on their forehead, like that. It runs back. It's a little bit different than the human skull. But now they lost a few people for real. Did he just mention Bigfoot? All right, so let's see. Let's see what else. What should we do, Shannon? What should we look at?
Um,
I mean, I got other things to look at. I mean, we can look at we can let's look at this for instance. This is kind of another version of a similar thing. Okay, this is uh, this is an exploded version of some of what we were just looking at. This is the ethoid bone, and this is the sphenoid bone here. The image of the butterfly, you see, and then another image, similarly again of a butterfly, which is the ethoid bone or the crista galli. Here it is up here. You can see the the cross here in here with the veil hanging on it, which is the porous bone that hangs on it, and that is a separate individual bone of its own. You would say. Okay? And we can spin it around and look at it from a few other angles, so you can understand this and get this in your mind and understand that God is within you and the temple is within you. There is no need to build a third temple because Christ took care of that. And there it is. There's your veil hanging down, symbolically flapping in the wind, because the wind does come right up your nose and blow against this right here. The literal air, which is why they burned incense in the Holy of Holies in the temple. Whether they understood it back then or not, I have no way to know.
I'm
But
curious when speaking of the veil being torn or lifted, if there will be a physical change within that, within our own selves,
you
to
mean
the
you mean
thought
you mean in reference to
to the veil being lifted in this supernatural spiritual realm of being able to see.
well, this is we are lifting the veil right now,
Right.
literally. That's what
I'm
we're.
just curious if there will actually
I
be
mean,
a
a physical
noticeable
change.
physical change within that particular area of the skull. Just a thought
Well, I think it's a
I'm
good.
gonna throw out there.
Yeah, I think it's a good question. I just don't know if I have the answer. Uh,
Oh, it's more along the lines of throwing it out there. Not thinking we have the answer, but
yeah.
maybe we can take it to the Lord and maybe we'll be able to
But
see some.
if we ask, if we seek, we'll find. Just like we found this. And I've got other things to show you still as well that you're going to find fascinating. You see this image here with the Crystal Galley up here? And
Yes,
it comes straight down. It has a point down here and it comes up to a point here, right? The tip of here, right?
like a spear.
And it has these wings that then come down out here, right?
Right.
Okay. Well, now we associated that with this image, excuse me, that image with another point of creation on the human body. And we all know that if this were a female vagina, that this right here would be the head of the clitoris or the crista galli right here. I'm, I am correct. So, with that in mind, let's look at this. This is a 3D model of the female clitoris. Of course, this is uh, what's the word I'm looking for? The spot that whips up the storm, because we are talking still about a storm, and we're also still talking about uh, the image of God, and we're talking about uh, everything related to that. So the interesting thing is that here we have something that almost looks like a bird. I mean, it says that the woman was given the wings of an eagle to fly away into the wilderness. It's interesting how God recreates the imagery over and over within things, whether it be in the world or inside of us or in the heavens and all kinds of ways like that. So let's look back at let's see, which one was it? This one. Okay. So if you got that image up in your mind like that, and that image, I'm just seeing how similar they are. There definitely is similarity, and it's interesting the the going around to the back again, it's a little bit easier to see. That right below the, see if I got the at the weight on or off over here. Let's see, I think I've got it. Okay, everything's on. Okay, so you got. Let me turn the front part, the front cranial lobe back on. Okay, so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, here you got the lesser wing here of the butterfly, lesser wing here. You got the body of the butterfly and the Crista Galley mast on the boat running up here. And then you have this thing, another repeating imagery. And if you know, of course, we all know, well, we probably have a clue what. I'll make this a little bigger here for a second. This is the vagina opening itself, and this is the urethra here, okay? And the when it comes to the human skull itself, if you remove the ethioid bone with that has the crystal galley and the cross and the wings on it, you'll see that you are now looking down what would be looking down the neck. Let's see where we're at here exactly. Let me back out a little bit. So it comes back here. So no, it's the ethioid bone, the one that looks like a more like a, not the ethioid, the sphenoid bone that even looks more like a butterfly. Because right here is where the vertebrae, the steps within us, come up right here and connect right to the arc itself with the mercy seat right above it right here. So symbolically, the ethmoid bone, I ain't making it disappear. Oh, there we go. It is that is the arc itself sitting on top of the your neck bones running down. And I'm just trying to see if there's a very similarity here. It's like what the pathway that leads, well, in this case, it's the pathway that leads to the uterus, ultimately. We'll have to look more close sometime, um, get some more different imagery pulled up so we can see more of uh, the female point of creation as well. Let's see.
You
It's
have to get past the cervix to get into the uterus. So there's
right,
a passageway.
exactly. So I would imagine. Let me see here. Okay, so yeah, they've got models of a lot of that as well, and I want to study it a little bit before I just jump completely in it. I mean, there's obvious things I see immediately. I mean, like if you look at this image here, you know how in the iPad goat animation, Shannon,
Yes.
the goat is sticking his head out of the hole in the box.
Yep. Well, you know,
Okay,
part
you
of
reckon you know what the hole in the box is now, Shannon?
right. Well, part of the construct of what they, as I put in quotations, would like to do is to be able to create life without the natural sense of creation. And they have created all of these external ways of growing babies and cloning and trying to take away the natural construct of how creation is created in this world.
But they can't create the spark though.
That's right.
When when a human egg is fertilized, it sparks. There's a spark that happens, and that's creation. That's God crossing the veil. Just like when the angels in the heavens, right before they appear, they spark. Right before they cross the veil, there's always a spark. I've
And
seen it.
science actually has now proven and taken footage of the
Video of that.
actual spark during creation, the moment of conception, which seems to be, a thing that a lot of people like to argue, especially in the whole abortion rights, scenario where they're like, well, it's not really alive. It doesn't really have a soul yet at this point. Well, no, it does. The spark happens right at conception. And they have proven that now.
Yeah, they have indeed. And I think I'm going to be able to pull a video up real quick and show it. Yep, there we go. Let me pull this up to the main screen here. I'll show you the spark, the crossing of the veil.
What's up? Hi, Jenna. We brought you here today to look.
Okay. So let me check the resolution. Make it a bit higher. And it's not very high at all. Sorry about the echo, guys. If y'all got bad echo. I don't know why me and Shannon are having problems now.
Well,
Let me check your mic setting.
I'm not hearing any echo on my end, just so you know.
Oh, you're not?
No.
Okay. Okay. So it's just me. Just me. Test. Test. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Okay, I'm not hearing it anymore. I changed one little setting, so okay. Hopefully, y'all guys weren't hearing it. It's something saying reduce background noise, but now maybe the background noise is worse. I don't know. Anyways, thank y'all guys for being in the comments, and yeah, the life is in the blood, truly, and we're going to get to all that too. But you know, how are we going to cover everything in one day when it comes to creation? It's impossible. Yeah, somebody said Daniel was echoing. Am I echoing now?
I mean, again, I didn't hear it originally, so
Susan said it's gone now, so there's no echo now. I think. Um, hang on just a second, Shannon. Will you here? Let me play this video real quick and check out the spark. I think it's playing. Yeah. Did it show it properly, Shannon? I don't know if it did or not. Did it?
is there sound to it or anything?
Apparently not.
Okay, just
Let
checking.
me let me look and see if there's maybe a better one here. I'm sure there are because I've showed them before. Okay, let's see here. I think this one's better. Let me check it. I hope nobody's bored because this is truly some of the most important knowledge. Not probably the most, but it's some of the most important knowledge that we're ever going to know.
Right. It
It's more.
appears that it sparked up quite a bit of conversation in the chat, so I don't think anyone's bored.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, there it is. The moment of conception. There's that flash. That
Yep.
spark of life.
Yep. Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with all type of debate about. There you go again. See that pulse? This is slowed way down, of course, but there that pulse, that light. On my documentary um, called UFOs, Orbs, and Lights in the Heavens, or Lights in the Night Sky, it, I show and demonstrate video footage of angels when they cross the veil doing this spark. That's what it is. It's the supernatural spark of the veil being crossed in a point of creation, and which to me lets me know and confirms to me that angels fly within a wheel, which is a torus field, the words that man chose to create to describe it, a torus field. And so when you see these lights appear in the heavens out of nowheres, you should have a clue what they really are. They're not crafts from some other imaginary world of fake planets and stuff like that. All right, let's see. Um, did I show this one yet, Shannon?
And no.
Okay. It's just a 3D model of the ethioid bone with the crystal galley on it. And that
You
is
can clearly see the ark of the,
yeah, yeah.
Noah's Ark, Ark of the Covenant, all of it,
Here's the cross right here. Here's the main mast, and of course the sails hanging on it. This is the veil that separates the holy, which is your body, from the holy of holies, which is right in that part of your head. And yeah, if you can't see a cross here with a veil hanging on it, I don't know what to say to you. And you should be able to see. We should have right below this a boat, the wood part of the boat or the box of the boat. The vessel itself would be right here, and I showed that to y'all guys just a few minutes ago, right here. There it is. God is within you. You are the ark. You are the temple. I hope you understand that. This, this is this is so glorious. Hallelujah, and thank you, God, for giving me the eyes to be able to see this information. And there's another gentleman too that's done a lot of great work. He's been doing it about as long as I have, and there's many of them. But this one, his name's Casey with Enter the Stars.
I'm very fond of Casey's work.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I've spoken to Casey before a couple times in the past. You know, person to person, spoken to him, not in person, but like on the phone kind of thing and stuff. And hopefully Casey is watching this because yesterday Casey actually put out a video, and we're gonna watch just a little bit of it. I'm gonna leave the rest for y'all guys to go over there and watch. But if you want to find his channel, it's real easy. All you got to go is do is one run a search for it on YouTube. But he has two channels out there. One he has an uploader on about 4 months, and then he has the other one he's uploading on most of the time. And if you go to the homepage on the supernatural show, you'll see that I have Casey's channel featured on the homepage. And you can watch his videos just by clicking there if you want to. And then you can click on the video itself, then go to his channel and subscribe to his work. But it was very interesting that yesterday he put out a video, and I thought we'd take a little look at some of it. I haven't seen it, so but I know Casey's got eyes, and I know he's a man trying to be righteous on the narrow path. So, in honor of Casey, we're gonna watch a little bit of his video and all his work for over a decade now. He's he's been very his story's very similar to mine, and I have a lot of great respect for Casey and his tenacious, never give up attitude, the same as I've had. He's, and there are some others too. What is the name of that channel, Shannon, that you shared with me recently? It was love something. What was it?
Like a term. Hold on, I will find out. I should know, but Future Love.
Future Love. Yeah.
Future Love.
Future Love is a channel. Let's just say he gets it too. And if you want to hear somebody else with I've never spoken to him. I've sent him a message or two just in the chat in the last few days. I'd like to invite him onto the show here, as well as Casey. I would like to have Casey come on here with us. So, Casey, if you happen to be listening, get a hold of me, brother, and let's do some glorifying work for our Father in heaven together.
One note about Future Love, when I did come upon his work, he reminded me so much of you with so much, just a lot of the things he talked about, and his testimony just was so much like mine, and it really came upon me to, go through his videos and see what he was all about, and it just kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
So I kind of wanted to throw that out there.
It shows you that we're not the only one on this path. But I'd never heard of him before, and if you go over and listen to his videos, it's like listening to me, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's very similar, but he's only got 123 subscribers. I don't know how. I mean, how he's only got 123, but I'd like to invite him to come over here and see if we can't get him on up to 10 or 20,000 or something. Not that that's important for any other reason other than spreading the truth, telling the truth. The more people get more people to know the truth and be aware of the truth. So, anyways, let's honor Casey today and let's watch just a little bit of his video here. I have no idea what we're going to hear other than the title was, what was the title? Let me see here. I think I think it was on, let me just click watch here on the website, for instance, for a second, and it'll tell me what the title was. Okay. No, it didn't. Okay. Anyways, we're just going to watch it anyways. So let me go ahead and just hit play here. Here we go. Let me add his video.
We're going to get into some very interesting information on the ancient text called the Kebra Nagast. And this is an ancient Ethiopian book. It seems to fill in the blanks in terms of the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey would say, about the visit between the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon. This is fascinating because what we have here is an ancient text that describes the rest of the story. What happened when the Queen of Sheba, the Queen of Ethiopia, met with King Solomon? The Ark of the Covenant was stolen from King Solomon, and it was in a caravan with the son that King Solomon shared with the Queen of Sheba. His name was Menelik. Now, he did not steal the Ark of the Covenant. Someone else stole it, and he found out later, okay? Make a long story short, on their way back from Jerusalem to Ethiopia with the Ark, they passed through Egypt. And there is a fascinating story in this text about how this Ark of the Covenant had anti-gravity properties. It actually was able to levitate the entire caravan. And then it laid waste to all the idols in Egypt. And we're going to get into the details of how that happened. Sound, levitation, yes. That is how they were built. It's somatics. Now, somatics is the fabric of the universe. In that when God spoke the word was with God. The word was God. The word was basically the vibration that he passed through matter in order to arrange matter into human beings, nature, creation. And God's fingerprint is all across nature and creation. It's there in the Fibonacci sequence. We see the vortex of God in the Fibonacci sequence. What do I mean by that? The Fibonacci sequence is a spiral. It is a spiral with proportions extending out into a fractal. And those proportions extending out into a fractal mimic everything that is in nature. Okay, well, what is a spiral? A spiral is the vortex. It is the pillar of fire by night and the pillar of clouds by day, the Ark of the Covenant. And we're going to get into the Ark of the Covenant. Now, you would think that this information would be mainstream and that this would be something that would be covered on many, many channels. But I'm going to dig into this. But before we do, this is the Kebra Nagast. This is the Wikipedia on it. Here are the origins of it. Let's read through this really fast before we get into the text. The Kebra-Nagast, or the Glory of the Kings, is a 14th century account written in Ge'ez of the origins of the Solomonic line. Now, it's saying 14th century, but you're going to see how it is much, much older. Of the emperors of Ethiopia. The text in its existing form is at least 700 years old and is considered by many Ethiopian Christians and Rastafari to be a historically reliable work. It contains an account of how the Queen of Sheba, Queen Makeda of Ethiopia, met King Solomon, and about how the Ark of the Covenant came to Ethiopia with Menelik I. Now, Menelik was the first king, you guys. Up to this point, and if you read the text, it will tell you this, the Queen of Sheba existed in a matrilineal line, which basically means all run by women. And she worshipped the sun, the moon, and the stars. She met Solomon. He taught her a different way. He said, do not worship the sun, moon, and stars. Worship the person that created them, the God, the one true God. At that point, she was converted. She accepted Solomon's words, and then she anointed her son as the first king of Ethiopia. So that's the history behind this.
So as you can see there, our brother Mr. Casey is on the job.
Yeah.
And I do have pulled up, let's go ahead and take a moment to honor this other gentleman.
I do want to mention, though, as he talks about the sound frequency, the resonance,
He's right on.
how we, again, with the crystal galley is the Ark of the Covenant within us. It resonates through all that cavity area. That's where your sound is resonating. So it's just, sorry, had to.
It's mind blowing, ain't it?
I was like, ah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's right on it. And yeah, just wow, just amazing. And I think you recognize this gentleman, Shannon.
Yes.
Let me know if you can hear him okay when I start playing this. Let's share this wise man as well a little bit today, since we got into that here at the end of our show. So here we go. Let's listen to him. This is only a 10-minute video. We're going to give him at least halfway.
Hey everybody, hope all of y'all are having a good day today. I'm in Pagadian City right now, about 40 kilometers from our home base in Boniface Hill, close to our mountain. And
Shannon, can you hear him okay?
Yeah, I can hear him. And just so you guys know, he's in the Philippines right now.
Yeah. He lives there, right, Shannon?
He lives there, yes, with his wife, and does a lot of great works. Well, through God does a lot of great works through him to help the people out there.
I hope y'all guys go over there and double and triple his subscribers, quadruple, 10 times his subscribers. Not because you're blessing him, but because you're going to bless yourself by listening to this man. All right.
we have to cross over another little mountain range here in about an hour or so, get back home and pick up the remaining supplies for tomorrow's feeding and for Sunday's family bonding. Anyway, I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience that I've had since I became born again. And I pray that it may encourage you and you, some of you out there may have experienced this and you've been looking for others who have too. And so I'm going to share my experience with you now. I became born again on June 14th of 2012. I literally heard that small voice, the voice of God, and whenever I responded, I was changed in the twinkling of an eye. I was just engulfed in this love that words cannot explain. And that was in June. And on September 11th, 2012, I made my first YouTube video. That was my testimony. My old channel had about 3,000 subscribers, and it got hacked. And they removed my testimony and a lot of other videos. They made them private and stuff, and I've never been able to get that channel back. The second video that I ever made was a dream that I had, and it was a dream of 144,000. And in this dream, I was taken up. Now you have to remember, I was very immature as a Christian. I was learning spiritual things, trying to break free of that carnal mind. And but in this dream, I was taken up, and I was in like the bowels of this ship. It was like a modern ship, and I remember there was like piping and steam pipes and things like that. And there was a group of people there with me, but we didn't correspond with each other. We didn't talk to each other or anything like that. We were all kept separate, and it's like we were sitting down at little desks, and each person had this being. Couldn't really see them, but you could. I don't know if it's an angel, whatever. It's like we could see them, but you couldn't see them. But they were teaching us, and they were teaching us how to speak fire, you know. And this is the dream that I was given the revelation on how the 144 is connected to the 153 fish, and it's also connected to the 72 disciples that Jesus sent out in Luke chapter 10. And so whenever I woke up, I freaked my mom and pop out because I woke up, you know, and I always have a little notepad beside me, and I start writing everything down so you don't forget it. And that video kind of went semi-viral as far as my videos were concerned, and I think Godlike Productions picked it up, and a lot of people resonated with it. And then there was also, of course, as usual, there was a lot of religious spirits that came around at it too. And but I always thought that was a cool dream. And the other day, my sister in Christ, Tara, she posted a dream that she had, and in her dream, she dreamt that there was this giant wall of water coming at them, like a giant tsunami, tidal wave. And she said there was lots of people around, you know, and everybody seen this tidal wave coming. And she said at the last moment before she got washed over by this wave, this school bus just appeared out of nowhere, and she got on the bus, and the bus took her away to safety. And that was the end of her dream. Immediately, whenever I saw her dream and I listened to her explaining her dream, I knew that was basically the exact same dream that I had. It was she was being taken to school, okay, being taught, and that wave is, you know, like the dragon that spews out the river of water trying to overtake the man-child, you know, and the earth swallows it up. Okay, and that water is like wormwood, you know, it's poison. If you'll remember, they gave Jesus wine mixed with gall, and in the Greek, it's wine mixed with wormwood. It's the truth mixed with a lie. And after he experienced it, in the English, it said after he tasted it, he refused to drink it anymore. But in the Greek, it says after he experienced it, he refused to drink it anymore. The religious lies, okay, refused to drink that. All right, so I knew that wall of water coming at her was all the false teachings and the religious spirits trying to overtake her and drown her. Same as in the boat, when you're in the boat, you know, and there was a storm trying to swamp the boat. It's the same thing. So anyway, I got to looking a little deeper in this, and the other day I did a video on here, Enoch the Seventh from Adam, and of all my videos, that one really took off, and I gained a lot of new subscribers. Hello, you guys, by the way. But the Lord spoke to me, and he reminded me of Enoch's name, the meaning of his name in Hebrew. And so I looked it up again and made a copy of it. And his name means trained, disciplined, basically schooled. Okay, and I showed them my video, the Enoch the Seventh from Adam, how we go through this period, this learning period. You're being schooled. If you've been called by God, you're going to go through this initiation, and there's no choice in the matter. you have to go through it. It's part of your learning here. It's part of your refining process to get you to come full circle. That which perfection comes, that's whenever you come full circle and you come to understand that love is everything. Because you first start off with love. Like with me, it was love that changed me in the blink of an eye. And then I started on this journey. All right. And I got kind of religious there for a while because I had all these religious spirits coming at me and I was fighting with them. And it was just Bible ping pong, Bible verses back and forth, back and forth. And in the end, I finally asked God, I said, Lord, what is this? I'm not doing anything. It's like it's just fruitless to try and debate with these folks. And God told me, He said, you know, what was it that saved you? I was like, it was your love, Lord. That changed everything for me. That it just completely consumed me. And He was like, that's what you have to do. Go back to your testimony. Put everything on your testimony and on love. And stay with love. Stick with love. Love everybody without judging them. You know, and learn that love conquers all. All means everything. And so that is when I'd come full circle. So I share these things with those out there who have experienced God's love. And you may have been having a hard time with all these religious spirits. You know, that you have to be schooled. And that's what the word disciple means in Greek. That first of all, it comes from the word math. Okay, and God has taught me a lot in numbers. But disciple also means one who can be taught, not closed-minded, okay? Your cup is not filled, all right? You're somebody who's an empty vessel. You have the mind of a child. You remember, Mary was a child virgin, a virgin child. She was a virgin bride, a child bride, all right? And we have to come to God as a child. And we have to be virgin in order to become one with God in spirit. And that's when the man-child is born from the innocence of a child bride. That's what it's all about. But we have to be able to be taught. You have to do that. And whenever you've done that, you've went through the 7 stages, the 7 plagues of the temple. And once you've made it through all of that, you are disciplined. You've been trained. You've been schooled, just like Enoch. And remember, it's written, they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. And that word that they use there for word is logos, which means the word of God. Your testimony, your logos of your testimony is divine utterance. And someone is meant to hear that. The song of the 144,000 is their testimony of being redeemed from the world by God's amazing, unimaginable, unexplainable love. That is our song. It is your testimony. It's unique to you. Nobody can learn the song except for the 144,000. Those who have encountered God, those who have experienced His love. That is your song. And you're to sing it all the time. You don't get hung up in all these Bible debates and all this mess, religious debates. Share your song, sing your song. Not everybody's going to listen to it. Most are going to hate you, but there's someone out there that needs to hear your song. And when they hear it, it's going to be just music to their ears. It's going to be what they had to hear. I love you all. God bless.
Yeah. Do you know what his name is, Shannon?
I can't. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
He is. Well, you can tell if there's a narrow path to be walked, we all seem to be within a step or two of talking about the same path on it.
Right.
I mean, he was using so many of the same words that Casey and I just have been saying. You know,
Right.
that is just a beautiful thing.
The Holy Spirit working through us 100% there. That is Sorry. Ooh, I'm a little emotional.
I had watched this video once before, and but Casey's I had not watched that one yet. I just trust Casey because if I've seen enough of his stuff that I know that if I download it, typically I don't go out and uh, hunt down people to listen to because I just listen to God
Right.
instructing me on what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's probably the only reason I haven't listened to Casey in quite a while. It isn't because his work isn't glorious. It's because I can't listen to man. I have to listen to God. But there's nothing wrong with us sharing this with y'all guys because they're doing awesome work too. And there's more than one version. Maybe Casey or maybe this gentleman can explain something in a way, whether it be with words or symbolism or even numbers, like I've gotten into a lot, just like he started talking about a little bit there, to be able to explain things, and so that the scales can be removed from your eyes that you can see and hear. Um, that's ultimately the goal in the work of this channel and this work, as well as continuing to try to improve what I understand and what I can discern. So yeah, that's I encourage y'all guys to go check those guys out. I'm going to embed this guy's channel in the website as well. It'll probably be on the. I might put him on the homepage for a little while, but he'll be also in the knowledge bank, the People's Knowledge Bank on the website. And speaking of
I
the
just,
website,
oh, sorry. I just wanted to mention again about him saying singing your song, which is your testimony, and how that comes back to on our website, how we have our song creation section. Sing your song, give us your testimony, because there's someone out there who needs to hear it. And that just blew my mind right there. And I've seen it before too, but man, this touched my heart watching it again.
you're referring to this song, I think.
Oh,
Well,
that's one of my songs for that. But yep, that's, yep. Sing your song, guys.
And all you have to bear. Jesus brought us all here together. Everything is in His hands. Don't you worry, we're here for you. You're not alone. Welcome to the body and soul of Jesus Christ.
I couldn't resist. I just happened to have that either.
I was like, ah.
And then Shannon's working on, and she already did that, basically a cappella with a little guitar background, but working on a further song along with that. I'm still going to do my Way Down in the Valley.
We're gonna work on that.
I'm going to work on that. And it's becoming more and more clear. It's really supernatural how it happens. Because if you think about the lyrics, the ones that you've seen me talk about that I created, I wrote, I guess you could say, the song called Way Down in the Valley. That's a military cadence song, and then it took off and became a song that football teams and graduation parties and all kind of things, they sing it. And some of the lyrics, or the what some people would call the hook in it, is called it goes, whoa, 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 way down in the valley, I heard a mighty roar. And that's some of the lyrics to it. But it's whoa, you know, whoa, three woes, you know. And it's interesting that there are three woes in the two hooks. And it's like, wow, how did I do that back then? You know, and it's talking about the valley and of darkness, and um, it's just so yeah. I'm going to be working on that, and um, young guys, if you would like, you can go over to the website and join into the discussion about the Krista Galley and the body code and everything to do with this subject matter. Um, the website is $3.99, $3.99 a month because unfortunately in this world we have light bills and I've dedicated the last 13 years of my life to this. And so I'm trying to provide a service and not just accept just donations in order to. Plus, I'm just being led to do this. The website is turned out way more awesome than I ever thought it would be. If you're having any problems with the website, please go to the website and just click on the chat where it says member chat down here, and then click on new chat and pick me. Actually, all you have to do is I'll be there instantly, so you can just click on me and then tell me what it is that the problem is. If you're having a problem, this is the best way to communicate with me. But make sure that you've at least signed up to be a member, even if you haven't chosen a subscription plan yet. Like the full website or the Beyond the Veil or anything like that. Um, but if you'd like, you can also use that coupon code there at the end, which is 75% off 3 months, 652 right there at the end of the that. It'll give you the first 3 months for like less than $1. So, but I know it's not the money. It's just a matter of is it worth your time or do you want to be involved in something? And I would hope that you want to be involved in this. Y'all guys are here watching up to 200 of you at any given moment during this video. Although we're starting to dwindle off a little bit now because we're about to the end of the show. The meat has done been eaten and everybody's sitting around rubbing their stomachs. But yeah, so I hope y'all guys continue to support the website. I need your support, and I hope you can see the meat that I'm bringing to the table to share with y'all guys. And I'd like to thank Shannon too for being here again today and assisting me with this. It's greatly appreciated. And I see all y'all guys in the comments. I've been burning it up today, so I greatly appreciate y'all guys as well. And I love all of you. And I send my love to you. And keep your eyes open, your ears open, and pay slow, close attention to things. Don't have a short span of attention. When you see things, slow down and analyze it. Whether it might even be just a bird flying, doing something weird in the front yard. I've had a bird the last few days doing some, keeps coming back and doing some really strange stuff in the front yard. And God created all things, so He can use anything for symbolism or a message or things. And so, I'm just saying, pay close attention in life. That's the way that you start to figure things out. And yeah, so Shannon, with that being said, I reckon we're about out of here today for this show. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
I want to send my love to you all too, and thank you for watching our work. And please like, share, subscribe, check out Casey's work, check out our future love guy who we're adding on to the website now. Come bring your testimony, sing your song to us. We all want to hear it. And just remember, God is love. He loved us so much that he sent his only begotten Son for us that we may live. So after that being said, I wish you all the best, most lovely, blessed day, and check us out next time to find out what in the supernatural is going on.
What in the supernatural is going on? Guys, you know that your testimonies are supernatural in nature. To explain your testimony, they're all unique, they're all a individual song, and you can come to the website and you can submit your testimony on there. You can also choose in the application or the form when you fill it out on the website, the Supernatural Show or supernatural.show is the name of the website. And they're at the top of it. Let me just click up here. I'll show you where it's at so there's no confusion. You don't even have to be a member to submit your testimony or your supernatural story or supernatural event that happened to you in your life. It's right here at the very top on the left. It says submit story. You can submit your story, or another word for that is testimony, there, and it will ultimately get read on the show. And you can choose whether you want to be on the show, come in the studio with me and Shannon, or maybe make a phone call in to us and we'll have you live just via a phone call too as well. We can do it different ways. So, but with that being said, I think it's about time to get on out of here today. And I wish y'all guys well, and I send the love to you. And thank you for all your continued support. And we'll see you next time here on the Supernatural Show.